Hi guys, welcome back to Love and Confetti. Today we're trying something a little bit different. We're just gonna go with the flow and see where things take us, and just talk about a little bit about our updates in our life. So, how are you feeling today, babe?
I'm feeling tired, I guess. I mean, it's 11 p.m. It's almost bedtime, so yeah.
We've been struggling with the whole, LDR for the past how many years already, and podcasting has been hard because it's either we record in my super early
Which
morning
we never
or my
do.
super late, which we never do. Or I think we tried once at my super late evening and your super early morning, which is kind of weird for me too. So we kind of have to, you more than me, sacrifice a lot with your schedule to get this done.
Yeah, this is the time we usually record the podcast. So like 10, 11, which is kind of like the end of the day and then you have to like create like a thoughtful conversation. It's kind of tiring.
Yeah, it is. That's why, so for today, that's why we said we're really gonna just, be chill, talk about things. Yeah, a little update with what's going on. So, babe, what have you been up to? Your feed's looking really nice right now.
Yeah. I've been doing like this is a self thing, like something I'm doing for myself. I'm posting like every single day on Instagram, but I'm posting reels, so it's kind of like a 30-day challenge for myself. I'm almost done. I think I only have 6 days left, and I promised myself that if I completed the 30 days without fail, I'd buy myself something that I've been wanting to buy for a long time, which is an action camera, one of those 360 camera thingies. It's really cool because it has like this tripod where you put the camera on the tripod, and when you record, like the tripod has this thing where it just disappears. So it's basically like you have a drone hovering above you. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm very excited to get it, but I have to complete the next week.
So, what's your plan for the next week? What are you going to be uploading?
Yeah, that I don't really know because I kind of like maxed out my available reels like
Oh,
so far. I mean, no, I have like a lot that I already filmed. It's just I kind of like changed direction halfway about like the kind of content I want to be doing. So then I kind of scrapped all of those. They're in my phone. I don't think
mm-hmm.
I'm going to post them. Or maybe like if I don't have anything to post. Now I'm really just doing quantity over quality. I guess like fail and fail fast kind of thing. And I feel like I did learn, like if I spaced it out, like maybe posting one or two every single week, I wouldn't learn as much as I did with the 30 days that I.
Yeah, yeah. So this is like a crash course somehow for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, in my case, I've recently been doing some voice over work for some companies, and I've been struggling and trying to get the audio quality up to speed with like industry standards. And since I'm still pretty new at this, I'm still learning a lot about voice editing and noise cancellation and all these terms, and like dehiss, dehum. I'm like, okay, this is all so foreign to me, but I'm confident now that I'm delivering a very good product. So the voiceover's sounding much better now. And yeah, I'm enjoying, like, I do voiceover work for two YouTube channels. One is this like a movie recap channel where basically I just narrate movies, and they have kind of sketchy thumbnails and and descriptions about the movies. Yeah, it's fun. And then the other one is even more fun. It's basically I'm doing like video game journalism where I play games and I talk about my thoughts about the games. And then I write a script and actually speak it. And it's been pretty fun. I've been a bit tired because I've been doing so many things at once this whole month, but I'm proud that I'm kind of like evolved kind of fast this past 2 months. So I'm happy where I am right now.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because like I'm doing Instagram and you're doing purely YouTube. Because you're doing YouTube, yeah, you're working for two YouTube channels and then you have your own channel that you're working on. I decided, I think last month to not focus on YouTube. I have a channel and everything, and I did plan a month ago. I even took a YouTube course. Yeah, I planned to do it this year, and then I realized I think only less than a month ago that I should really just focus on one or two things. So the things I chose are this podcast and my Instagram. So everything is taken the back seat. My presets have taken the back seat. My photography is taken the back seat. And it kind of feels very really weird to like let go because I feel like each of these things are very special or something. Like there's a lot that I can do with each, but the thing is, I feel like I'm being pulled in a lot of different directions, and my priorities aren't centralized or something. It's not focused on one thing, and that maybe that's why I haven't been like experiencing the growth that I've been wanting for all these things because I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of just
You're kind of
I'm
hyper focusing on something.
yeah. So now my goal is for this year at least. My goal is really just Instagram and this podcast because this podcast doesn't take a lot of work. We record and I recently hired an editor. So yeah.
Yeah, and so okay, wait. So what would you say to someone who's listening that let's say they want to focus on either Instagram or YouTube and they can't choose? So what tips would you give them on how to better make their choice? Because you made your choice, which is Instagram Reels, and I made my choice because I'm more familiar with YouTube and I'm not really an Instagrammer, right?
I would say like go with the platform you feel like you're more interested in because as much as interested as I am in YouTube, I feel like I do better with short form content, which is something that I realized while making the reels. Because I can do long form, like a lot of the things that have been on my back burner and everything are things that I can do. I can create YouTube videos. I even bought a soft box for it. I bought, things for my quote unquote studio. So these are things I can do, but it's more of like where are your skills gonna best shine? So I feel like YouTube is a place for people who have a lot to say or filmmakers or people who kind of want a story, like want to show a story visually, things like that. And Instagram is very for visuals, which I feel like this is how I can better communicate and express myself because I can do like a YouTube video, but then I'll still be doing Instagram. You get what I mean? So it's like, and I'll be happier to do Instagram. So I guess it's like, which platform will you be happier just doing if that other platform was canceled, something like that? I mean, some regrets because I had a lot of videos planned and I really did buy gear for it. I'm just thinking of the payoff right now.
I like where you're going with the whole Reels thing, and I think it's have you if you haven't seen her Reels, guys, you have to like subscribe to her or like follow her Instagram channel and see what she does because she does some really awesome like transition Reels, which I think are really hard to make, right, babe?
I think the hard part is like making it seamless because a lot of people do transitions, but they do it like, for example, they do it really badly. It's not, I don't know how to describe it. It just doesn't look well done. I try to make it good. I know that it's not the best that I can do, which is why I see like by doing this crash course, I'm learning faster. That was my entire goal. And I had this kind of unhealthy relationship with Instagram because I was very numbers focused because my goal was really to grow my Instagram so that I could get, I could get paid for my work. I could get to work with like the clients that I want and all these things. So I would like look at my stats. It's kind of like I guess like from a business perspective, you want to know that your efforts are getting you the rewards that you want. And as much as I would tell myself for years, this has been, I don't know, since 2018 or something. As much as I would tell myself for years not to focus on the numbers, this is what everyone says. It's generic cookie cutter advice. Don't focus on the numbers, like focus on your purpose, why you're doing what you're doing. Like all that, yeah, like I know it's harder to do. When in the back of your mind, it's these things. So now I'm very happy. Like I feel like I've come a long way because I don't check my stats anymore. Like I'm more focused on just like getting my work done and I don't check Instagram as much. I try to like curate my feed as much as possible to only be seeing like people who inspire me, things like that. Like for example, I log in at 6 p.m. I post my thing, maybe scroll for like 10 minutes and then I'm out. And then I don't even check. I don't like, I used to check after like how my post was doing, things like that. Now I don't, and I kind of just check the day after, because I guess now my focus is more on like is the feed, is the grid, is it looking nice? and things like that. I'm always just focused on the next thing, like what's the next thing I want to do. So before it was like always like on the numbers, and now it's more of like what's the next thing I can create. So I feel like my yeah, that's why I
Yeah,
can
you're
say
just
like my
moving
really
on, which is
yeah,
good.
yeah. It's always like on to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, I find that hard to do because as a person that does YouTube content, especially with me, like in my case, our channel, we kind of started off to a good start. So our first video did really well. Like it did numbers on the first like 24 hours. I was already in the 1,000 views. And then now slowly it's been rising. And the succeeding videos were like it didn't even reach the 1,000 mark. So then I'd always look and I'd say, what's going on? Why? I'd always ask why? And now, like, looking back, I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't be focusing on the why. I should just be focusing on the next video, right? But it's hard to, like, mentalize. It's hard to, like, tell yourself to do that because, you really want every single video that you put a lot of effort into, you want it to do well, right? So I'm also trying to change my mentality in that aspect because I know it's hard to see your work that you put so much love into not do as well as you had hoped it for it to do. And then the work that you don't put as much effort into is the one that's like kicking off. You're like, wait, what? What's going on
Yeah,
here?
that's exactly what I was telling you about. Like, I remember a few days ago, I told you, and I had this conversation with, I think, my friend Gabby, and she was like, how come the things I put effort in are the ones that do well? I was like, I totally feel you on this. Like, on the reels I've done, the ones that I really thought, like, the ones that took the longest to film, the ones I put the most effort in, like, finding the perfect music and, like, getting everything just right, are the ones that don't do well. My best performing one is like this Valentine's Day outfit thing, which I only decided to film on the day. There was, minimal preparation. I wore the least amount of makeup for that because I was kind of just tired, but I wanted it out there. So I was like, what the hell? But that's life.
Well, by the way, speaking of like YouTube and Instagram and all that, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, guys, where we post the podcast. It's pretty immersive there. At least you can see our faces, not just listen to our voices. Anyway, so moving on. Yeah, it's amazing how much like we've grown in the past year, babe. Especially you. Like I feel you more than me because I'm kind of like a slow grind, at least in my case. But like for you, I've really seen like your growth in your channel and the work that you put into your stuff. And then recently you posted about your work experience in Ocean Park, Cebu, which you never really shared with anyone before. Like it was just, among private people.
Yeah, I shot that 7 months ago, which is like, it's a very long time from posting to not talking about it at all to actually like revealing it. And it's not because that was like the timeline that I was only supposed to post this year. If possible, I was supposed to post that week. But well, I have like personal reasons why I didn't. And for now, I really just posted it because I wanted it over with. I feel like I didn't post it before because I was like overthinking how I was gonna present this big achievement that I've done. Like I wanted it to be like this grand reveal, like, hey, look, I made it kind of thing.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, but then now it's kind of like, you know what? I want it out. I don't even care. Like, I don't care how it looks on the stories. I didn't put much effort into it. Like, I really just like repost and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to like slowly get over this whole perfectionist mentality. Because I feel like in general, I do have like that tendency to really like be a perfectionist in a lot
I
of
think
things.
in general, many people are. I mean, nobody likes to do a mediocre job, right?
No, babe, a lot of people are.
Well, a lot of people, they put it,
Maybe not
okay,
me and not you.
okay, put it this way. I think a lot of people, if they're doing it for someone, they don't care, because it's like it's not their own personal. But like in general, a person that's trying to do their own personal thing, they want to do it as perfect as possible. Like it's the puede na mentality. Like for example, like oh, you have a boss and he asks you to do something, and you do it, and you could do it better. You could give it your like 200%, but are you getting paid for that 200%, right? That's what people think. So then you're like, puede na, like just let it go. But like if it's your own thing, then you are definitely going to go give it your 200% because you don't want it to be as bad as you want it to be perfect. But the thing is, sometimes that can be really detrimental because you might be stopping yourself from releasing things in time or doing things, stopping yourself from growing because You want it to be so perfect that you're not actually learning. You have to make mistakes, and sometimes even you have to release those with mistakes and learn from those mistakes and move on to the next thing, because you can't be like spending hours and hours on just one project when you could be making multiple new projects and slowly cultivate yourself. Because the reality is, in anything that you pursue, you will never be perfect on your first try. Even if you think you're perfect, you can look back and you'll be like, wait a minute, that's not perfect anymore, right? That's not the standard I have now. So for example, like in your case, you were telling me just today that your standard for your ocean park photos at the time were perfect. Like they were the perfect ones, right? Like they looked
At
perfect.
that time,
But
yeah.
at that time, but then when looking back, you're like, "Wait, this is not perfect for me anymore." See? And the thing is, you really slaved away on that ocean park set. So to think that you were slaving away so hard on that, and even today you're like, wait, that's not perfect. And back then you're like, oh, it's perfect. So yeah, it's really important, guys, that at least in my experience, that when you work on something, work to the best of your ability. I believe in that. Give it your 100%, right? In anything you do, even if it's for the boss that you don't like, it's always good to give it your 100%. But don't try to achieve perfection, because perfection is subjective to many things. It's subjective to how you where you are at the moment. It's subjective to each person that hears this thing, right? So just do it until you're satisfied, but don't do it until you're like going crazy over just one thing.
There's so many things I want to unpack with what you just said, but yeah, I agree. And something that that's something that I had to like, I guess, embody in the past few weeks that I've been doing reels, because there's so many things like little split second mistakes that I feel like can be better, but I'm kind of like, yeah, but is it worth spending, I don't know, 30 minutes fixing a split second thing? So then I gotta just go like, you know what? I don't care. I don't think anyone's gonna notice. I put it out there. And I guess recently I super learned, or I mean, it's something that I know. You know a lot of things theoretically, but you don't actually like know it until something clicks in your head. And it's this thing about incremental benefits or whatever. It's kind of like 0 to 1 versus 1 to 1.1%. So 0 to 1 would be from not creating at all to actually creating. And then 1 to like maybe a 1.2, 1.1 would be like, can I make it slightly better? So what I'm trying to say
But
is
it's
like,
only a point 0.1 or point 0.2
yeah,
difference
it's kind of
in the
like
grand scheme of things, right?
yeah, it's kind of like diminishing returns or something. It's only good until this thing, and everything above that is kind of like, it could be better, but it's so insignificant, like the improvement, that no normal person is gonna like really notice it. But you're spending all your time trying to improve it.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to also bring that up. Like, what you might see, for example, you're very good at Photoshop, right? And what you might see as a flaw, a normal person who's not, as skilled as you, or has the same, what do you call this, like the same interests as you, right? They're not as interested in this Photoshop world. They won't notice what you just noticed. Or a musician notes he knows that there's a wrong note somewhere, but to somebody that doesn't have like the most adept ears for music, they won't notice that wrong note, or maybe they'll just like let it slide, right? I think every person's worst critic is themselves. It's really true. Like for anyone, everyone's worst critic is themselves. There's a lot of people that after they do a work and after they review it, they don't watch it anymore. They just leave it in the background. Some people are like that because they realize that if they keep looking at their work, they're just going to continue to critique themselves, and it's not good. It's not healthy for themselves, right? I think this is very common in the acting world. This is actually something I learned when acting. So in fact, I applied that. Basically, I'd act. I'd look at the scene that the director's showing me. I'd watch the film once, and that was it. Some actors don't even watch their movies. I think like actors like, I could be wrong. I think like Leo DiCaprio, I don't think he fully watches his movies or something, because they don't want to like just analyze every little detail that
Yeah.
they did wrong, what they could have done better, They kind of just want to like, okay, this is the performance I gave and that's it.
Yeah, because for me, I like to look, there's bad and good. I like to look to see things I could have done better, so that I know that in the next one I do this instead. But that also has its downside because I become really critical about like what I did, how I looked, or whatever.
So yeah, so we've kind of been like growing slowly, like baby steps, and I think that's pretty cool. Like I can see you're growing with your Instagram, and then I feel like I'm growing at least career wise with my own like voice acting for other people, voiceover talent work, and my personal channel, which I kind of abandoned for the past 3 weeks because I've been so overwhelmed with the new work, but I really need to get back into it. So I'm gonna be working on that this week, and yeah, I'm actually really happy. I have one video that, for some reason, this one video, it keeps growing. Like every day, there's at least like, I mean, it's not much, but like every day there's like maybe 20, 30 views, and in my head I'm like, that's pretty nice, you know. Like literally, like 2 months ago, I was at maybe 3,000 views on the video or 2,000 views. And now looking at it today, I'm like almost at 6,000. So
Cool.
it's really growing slowly and slowly every single day. So it's nice. It's pretty cool. And I like this whole world of creating and making content and stuff. It's pretty fun. I've been
Yeah.
enjoying myself.
I'm actually really, really happy that we're both into like making content.
Yeah.
Not like, because
Yeah.
I feel like if I
I mean,
was
it's
with
not the same
someone,
content.
yeah, it's not the same. But I mean, would I prefer you were on Instagram? Yeah, I guess. But it's kind of like at least you have your strength and I have my strength and we can learn from each other. Get what I mean? So like, I don't know if I could be with someone who was not creative, because then how are they gonna get on my wavelength when I talk about certain things?
Well, at least we know that we can help each other in many ways
That's
because
why.
I always turn to you for advice in the YouTube channel. You know, you turn to me for advice for like your Instagram stuff. And no, on top of that, like for example, when you were here, I'd be your photographer and I'd even like tell you, hey, pose like this. Oh, let's get this shot and stuff. So at least we have that dynamic, which I'm very happy about.
But imagine if you were with someone who was just nothing, like didn't want to be online, like didn't want to make. See, it's gonna
Yeah,
be like
I
a
don't
super
know.
different. I don't know.
I had a person like, I don't want to name drop any names, but basically I had an ex that, you know, when I tell her my aspirations or my dreams, she's like, "Oh, that's nice." You know, and then like that's it. Like she wouldn't really give any feedback or anything. Or yeah, you know, you can do that. Like no ideas,
Mm.
right? And I don't know, like for me, when you're with someone, their success is your success. At least that's what I feel like. Of course, you don't put like all your efforts into that person, but still, you know, you want your partner to succeed, or anyone for that matter, your family member, anyone, you want to give your ideas and your input, you know?
Yeah, but especially your partner, because that's your like that's your other
Yeah,
50%.
that's your other 50%, exactly. So let's say one day, not gonna happen to us, but let's say one day Danny becomes a movie star. Am I gonna tell her to like stop, or am I gonna just say, "Oh, that's nice, babe"? No, I'm gonna be there, number one, you know, fan, cheerleader, and say, "Babe, ah, look, babe, look, there's this new casting, they need a new Catwoman, you know, something like that. You have to go, you have to go." You know, I'd be there like full on like supportive and giving her ideas and helping her like like read her scripts, whatever, you know. So in whatever field you pursue, I feel like I'll be that cheerleader and you'll be my cheerleader too. So I'm very happy about that because I've been with partners that are not as invested in your success as, you know, as you are. So it's really nice. I'm very happy about. Yeah. So guys, all that to say, find a partner that you really want to invest in their success and that will invest in your success. Because remember, guys, you guys are a pair. Their success is your success. It's not like, oh, their success is theirs. No. You guys, when you're together, you share things. So you share successes, which is really important. And you guys always have to remember that. That's how it was like with my parents, you know? My mom, she fully supported my dad in his music career, and she was there. She was the manager, she was part of the band, she was, you know, really there. And my dad's success was my mom's success. It was shared success. And then when my mom was like tired of the music world, she got into fashion design and jewelry making and stuff. and my dad quit the music and completely focused with my mom, like to make her success his success, right? And like that's how it works. That's how partnerships work. So I really believe in that, and that's why I'm the proud boyfriend right now, because my girlfriend is so, like, I feel like she's finding success in her Instagram, and that's in a way my success.
Yeah, it'd be like super cool to see if we ever can collaborate on something. Well, I mean, you're into gaming and I'm into like fashion
Oh,
travel,
I
so it's
have
kind of like it's
ideas.
far. Yeah, it's
Oh
kind of
no, I
far,
have ideas. I have ideas.
huh?
We're gonna do one video one day where I'm going to make you play games with me,
No,
and
but
let's
yeah.
see how far you get, like how good you are.
Oh gosh.
And
Okay.
we'll do like challenges. For example, I was thinking, for example, name those Pokemon.
Ay, I'm gonna be so bad. Yeah, but what I mean is like what can we create as a couple that is like game but fashion travel, kind of like that. So it's
You
like,
know, I want to mention something. So I want to bring up this really nice cafe that I used to play in. It was not really a cafe, it's like a gaming place, okay? In Manila. It was called Playbook. If any of my friends are listening, of course, you know what Playbook is. We've all been there. And Playbook is really awesome. So it really started with humble origins. The owner, Richard, and his wife, they wanted to make a place where basically you could play games. Richard's very passionate about gaming, right? And you could read books, which his wife is very passionate about. So in the first place, they had a really small place in gosh, I forgot the area in the south of Manila. Basically, you'd enter. It's like a really small cafe. A few couches, right, with TV screens and some setups where you can play games, and then like a little corner where they had books, and books of any kind, like books of Harry Potter, or even books that were related to the games, right? And they even sold some merch there, and it was really charming. Like you're there. When you go into like a gaming cafe, it's like it's all games, right? You have like sweaty teenagers just playing games, and there's no like balance. But this one, like, it felt like there was like a lounge area, and then there was the play area, and it just had that very nice immersive feel to it, right? So they kind of combined their interests into making one establishment, which was Playbook. And it got super successful. They had the one Playbook in that area. I said, gosh, I forgot the name. And then they opened a new one in like Makati, which, I mean, that's amazing, and it was like triple the size or quadruple the size. So that's an example of where you can kind of like mesh your ideas together, which you don't really think they go together, video games and books, right? But somehow it worked, and Playbook is now one of the biggest gaming places in Manila. So it's amazing what you can do when you just like rack your brains together.
cool.
Yeah. So I think when you come here, right, which is our goal this year, I think we can like really start to like brainstorm and stuff.
Gosh. Yo, but when I go there, it's gonna be like, babe, we have to create something every single day. We have to do video podcasts. We have to shoot. We have to.
Oh no.
It's gonna be so many things.
But what if it's like, babe, can we just stay in bed today?
Yeah, I feel like
What
that's
if I
what's
just
gonna
want to
end up
stay?
happening.
Yeah, we're gonna be like, babe, let's go out. Nah, it's not nice today. Let's stay home.
No, but at least going out in Barcelona is very
Yes, it's very
exciting.
fun. Like the nice thing about here is that I have the option to take the metro, right? And then I check my map, like how far is it? 26-minute walk. I'll just walk. But it's really nice because you walk, and then like you find like really interesting little stores here and there. Like imagine I was just walking the other day to like an area. I had to walk from like this one section to like Sagrada Familia area, right? It was like around a 25-30 minute walk. And then on the way, I saw a store, okay, that specialized in selling miniature soldiers, like
What?
like figures. Yeah, but it was like a store, like a two-story floor, huh? This is not like a small store. This was a two-story floor that specialized in miniature soldiers, and I'm like, is there a market for that? I'm just thinking in my head, like, is there an actual like demand for miniature soldiers? But it's amazing, and I was looking, and they're really like lifelike, with details, like expressions in their faces and stuff. It was actually really nice. Like it was like a grown up with toys, like you could see the guy painting there on the soldiers' faces. It's really nice. Yeah, it's charming. And you have tons of these things like around Barcelona, just these unique establishments, these unique stores and stuff. So that's why I like walking around and just kind of getting lost.
I wonder where we're gonna end up.
Oh yeah.
Probably just gonna be like, hey, let's like throw a dart at the map and go where it lands, kind of
Actually,
thing.
why don't we do that one day? That's a great idea. So why don't we vlog it? We can like put it on the YouTube on this YouTube, Love and Confetti. Basically, we're like, okay, let's buy tickets to the bus, and whatever first bus shows up, we'll hop on that bus,
Okay.
and then we'll get off at like a set amount of time, maybe like I don't know, like 10 minutes. Boom, we're out of the bus, and then we're like, where are we now? And we kind of
Okay.
just like look
Okay.
for something to do.
Okay. Let's have
I
a
think that's
really
fun.
random day.
Yeah, we can have a lot of random days actually. It'll be fun. Anyway, guys, so I hope well, today was really, just talking about random stuff, right? But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and, you kind of like brainstormed with us too.
Yeah, I want to do more of this actually. It's very chill.
Yeah, refreshing, I'd say. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for listening. And if you like this, be sure to follow all our socials. And, well, we'll see you guys in the next one, okay?
Bye, guys.
Bye.